Yes guys, welcome back. We are back in today with another full day of eating. It is rest day today. So second rest day of a 4-day deload. So 4 days full rest and then straight back and full steam ahead from there. So I've been doing this every kind of 6 to 7 weeks at the moment. 4 days full rest and then pushing back on. And it's leaving us in a really good position in terms of like smashing ourselves for 6 to 7 weeks and then having them 4 days, which really kind of brings us back to life, allows kind of joints to heal up, allows kind of the body to get really rested and recovered, and then mentally and physically super fresh for another 6 to 7 hard weeks of pushing from there. So second rest day, and I'll take you through a full rest day of eating, because there have been a few adjustments made to rest day. Food has begun to come up a little bit more. Obviously, the deeper into this off season we get now, the more muscle we're adding, the more fuel that's required. You know, food will start to be adjusted based off my needs. So rest day food has come up a little bit more. You will see that it's very, very similar, but you'll just see the increments within some of the meals that we are having, and you'll see the overall calorie increase in comparison to previous rest day videos as well. But another thing I'm going to do in this video is not just go through meals, but go through what you could do to use these meals, but maybe cook them different ways, or have some variety in them, or make them more appetizing. Or else what you could potentially do here is I'm gonna go through what you could have instead of these meals, which will be a very, very similar breakdown in terms of macronutrients, carbs, protein, fats, etc. as well, that you could have in place of these current meals as well. So we will dig straight in with meal one. So here is the cream of rice, first of all. So the cream of rice has actually been increased to 100 grams, okay? I have 120 grams of berries here as well. Obviously cinnamon and some salt over this, but that is the main adjustment within this meal, is that the cream of rice is increased. So more carbs gone in here. Then we still have the egg portion the same. So we have the 3 eggs, the 300 mils of egg whites, we have the 2 bagel tins, and then some beetroot, sauerkraut and green beans under there as the veggie sources. So yeah, I scramble the egg whites and the whole eggs, and then I make one whole egg into a fried egg and have that on top of one of the bagels. So 100 cream of rice, 120 berries, 3 eggs, 300 egg whites, 2 bagel tins, and then our veg. So meal one, and I have the calories up here on the screen as well for you. This meal, okay, what you could do here is you could very easily swap out the cream of rice for the oats, or you could even add in more cream of rice and take out the bagels. You could also take out the cream of rice and bring in more bagels. So manipulating these carbs here based off kind of what you want. If you want more cream of rice, if you want more bagels, if you just want one or the other, like I said, we can bring in oats here instead. Or what you could potentially do if appetite is low and you want like a lower volume meal one, you could even potentially go with just bagels with maybe jam and nut butter for the fat sources then, and then just like a whey protein shake for your protein intake. So that way you're going from all this food to potentially just bagels, jam, peanut butter and whey, which if your appetite is super low, this could be an easier option as well. Okay, so a couple of different options here. You could also make your eggs boiled, scrambled, omelette, poached, whatever you prefer really. If your appetite is high and it's in a pretty good position at the moment, I think this is a very high volume meal one. Yes, you can make it lower volume and still have the same macro breakdown, but if you are hungry, utilize them higher volume foods such as egg whites, such as bagel tins, such as like, you know, these things which are going to satiate you and fill you a little bit more. So meal two going down, I will show you now. Same as usual with this meal for second meal. No adjustments made to this from last time we showed it. So the same old. So there we go. We have 100 grams of blueberries. These are frozen. So what I do with the frozen blueberries is I will take these out, I'll put them in there, and I will just put them in the microwave for 60 seconds and they turn out. They're still pretty cold, but they're defrosted and good enough to eat. So that's what I do there. And then I have 100 rice here with 250 5% fat beef. And I have green beans, peppers, my seasoning, my mustard, my salt. So that is meal 2. Now with this meal, we're looking at obviously beef, rice, veggies, and some fruits. So what you could have instead of this meal, for the beef, we have some fats in this. So you could aim for a leaner source of protein, such as chicken. And you could even put some macadamia nut oil or olive oil in this to make up for the fats from the mince. And then we could have potentially some pasta or some spuds. So you could have pasta, chicken, and some olive oil over it. That would be a very, very similar meal in terms of macro breakdown. You could have the mince. You could make the mince into patties, into burgers, and you could have potatoes and make them into chips as well. So you could have basically burgers and chips, okay? In terms of the fruit, you could adjust this. You could even take the fruit away and add more carbs into the amount of the rice, or the potato or the pasta, or you could change the fruit source to something else that you enjoy rather than the berries. And again, there's so many different seasonings and sauces that you could use. We have Frank's hot sauce. We have Dolmio bolognese sauce that you could use with this as well, which is very low calorie. And then there's so many different vegetables you can use as well. It doesn't have to be green beans or peppers. So as you will see, one meal, I've literally just brain dumped and put like loads of different concoctions together that I could potentially have instead of this. You know what I mean? So there's a few options for you that you can have instead of this. And again, just realize that it's the same kind of macro breakdown, but if we want, we can just adjust things to suit what we want on that specific day. Yes, gang, we are back. Meal 3. This is definitely my favorite meal. I've been through this one before, and it's my salmon meal. Okay, so it's banging. Nothing has changed in this meal either. Well, the rice is actually 100 grams in this meal. It was 75 previously as well. So rice is 100 grams. We still have the pineapple in here. We still have the beetroot in here. But yeah, I really look forward to this meal as well. I think the reason why I look forward to this meal so much as well, it's because it's the meal after all my work kind of for the first half of the day is boxed off. So I know everyone is sorted, everyone's happy. And when everyone else is happy and sorted, I can breathe and I'm like, right, you know, everyone knows the game plan, everyone knows kind of, you know, everyone's got their check-ins, and then I can kind of decompress a little bit and actually just sit down and enjoy this meal. And then obviously later in the day, I go back in and attack. So here she is. Obviously we have the 100 grams of rice, some beetroot, green beans, the salmon. Salmon is cooked in the air fryer, 180 degrees for 20 minutes. And that does the job. It's nice and crispy, but not too overcooked. Some peppers there as well. And then the pineapple in this. I actually got fresh pineapple for this. I walked down to Co-op and got some fresh because I didn't have any frozen left because Aldi did not have any. So I prefer frozen, but fresh it is today. With this meal, it's a lot higher in fats, okay? In terms of the salmon. Salmon is very fatty. So like we're probably looking at like 20 grams of fat within this meal just from that salmon. So with this, again, if you're looking at the fats here, you can even opt for steak. You know, opting for a sirloin steak or something that's going to have slightly higher fat than like lean beef, for example. So I could even opt for red meat here, such as a steak. I could even opt for a lean protein source and then get the fats from, again, nut butter, avocado, etc. as well. Or what I could do is I could even have beef and some eggs with this as well for some fats. So there's my proteins and my fats then from the eggs and from the beef to kind of match the fats within this in the salmon meal as well. You even have beef and then eggs and bagels, or you could get some smoked salmon. You could have less smoked salmon, and then you could get a couple of eggs as well, and then have smoked salmon, bagels, and eggs. See what I mean? So it's just making these little adjustments to kind of like to your needs, or else instead of having the fats so high in this meal, if you really wanted, you could distribute them out more evenly across the day and maybe go higher fats in your next meal or the meal after that, or adding some more fats, maybe taking 5 grams from this, adding 5 grams to another meal, if you would rather fats later in the day. So it's just a case of adjusting. You know, this is what I'm doing at the moment, but there's so many ways to adjust this meal. and to make it suit you a little bit more as well. Back for meal 4, which is my potato and mince meal. Now, there has been a change to this meal, and there's been an increase in potatoes. Who doesn't love more spuds? Especially when you're Irish. We are basically 90% spud. But I have these in the air fryer as usual, as you will see. So I'll dig in. This is meal 4. Yes, so we have 100 grams of apple here. Then we have 250 of the lean beef. We have the green beans, the peppers, and then the spuds are up to 500 grams. They were 400, they were 300 at a stage as well, but now they are up to 500 grams. So that is the game plan for this meal. Seasoning, I actually put some of this bad boy on it, the ketchup, and then my salt as well. Lovely. With this meal, okay, make the spuds whatever way you want. Make them into chips, make them into cubes, air fry them, boil them, put them into mashed potato, bake them. You can do whatever. You can make your meals taste different every single day with spuds. With the beef then, again, as I went through earlier, you could even have some oil here as the fats from the beef, and then have a leaner protein source, such as chicken or turkey, for example, instead of the apple. Again, any fruit source. If you look at any of these meals, you can kind of mix and match and alter any of the food sources here. Usually, in anyone's diet, okay, you'll see, if you look at your own diet, there's going to be probably like 10 like food groups or 10 ingredients that you have across the day, every single day, no matter what they are. And you'll just mix and match them and kind of make different things with them. So it's the same here. It's like a mix of like 10 ingredients or so throughout the whole day and food sources. And I just mix and match the meals and make them as I want. So have a look at your own diet and you'll realize that you probably only eat like 10 things across the whole week. Because we are creatures of habit and we do like kind of convenience and we like what we like. Right, so back in meal 5 this time. So this is chicken, the rice, the macadamia nut oil, and the apple. Another favourite of mine. I always say they're favourites, don't I? But what I've just realised is that all bodybuilder full day of eatings, they all look the same. My one, I've put up the same one plenty of times. Not much changes apart from the amounts here or there, but people still absolutely love them. I don't understand that. I love them as well. I always watch them, even though it's the same thing. It's like little differences with different people and on certain phases. I don't know why we enjoy it so much, but here we are again. But yeah, this is meal 5. So this is the one. We have 100 grams of rice, 250 chicken, 100 apple, and then green beans, peppers, as usual. I think I'm going to turn into a green bean or pepper if I eat any more of these, to be fair. And again, with this one, what we can opt for here is pasta and chicken. Pasta and turkey, pasta and tuna. You know, we can add some white fish into this meal, some cod, some sea bass, etc. as well. Sea bass, sea bass. Again, be smart with it. You know what I mean? Rice is a staple of mine. I love it. It digests very well. Potatoes, I like as well. Don't really like pasta. I do like pasta, but I much prefer rice and potato. But pasta, if you'd rather something like bagels as your carb sources for some of these meals, work away. But I think if I had a choice between like bagels and rice or spuds, I'm definitely picking the likes of rice and spuds as opposed to like bagels or something along those lines. I think as well, it's a bit more satiating as well. Okay, so game plan for meal 6. Last meal before we hit the hay. 50 grams of cream of rice, the custard cream flavour. We have 40 grams of raspberries. We have 20 grams of almond butter, 300 Greek yogurt, 0% fat, 30 grams of whey, and then 60 grams of blueberries. Cinnamon all over it as usual. But yes, that is the last meal. Something sweet before bed. Now this actually is a meal that I will probably switch out pretty soon. And the reason being, it's just taken in the evening. I don't really want to take 10-15 minutes to make this. I just want to be able to come out, get a meal, 2 minutes and eat it, you know, before I kind of switch off in the evening. So that's probably why. But I don't know, maybe I'll wait a couple of weeks for it. I'll see. I'm still enjoying this at the moment. But if I am changing this out for something a bit more convenient and quicker to make. I'll probably just change it for rice, chicken, some almond butter, and then some veggies as well. I can make up the protein and the carbs in this meal and the fats from that alone. And again, it's just much more convenient for me to actually kind of get ready in the evening. So that's why I will change out for this. You know, what you could even do here is you may not even want to have the Greek yogurts. You could just, the carbs from the Greek yogurts, you could make up some cream of rice from them carbs, and then you could just increase the amount of whey that you are using that the protein in the Greek yogurt would have came from. So it could just be more berries in the cream of rice, more whey, and then the almond butter. So that's another suggestion, especially if appetite is low and you want to reduce the volume of that meal. Taking out the 300 grams of Greek yogurts is definitely going to go down a lot easier as well. So rest day, current full day of eating mapped out. I'll obviously put full calorie and macro breakdowns on the screen to kind of show you where we're at here now as well. But yeah, food is obviously getting up there now, getting a little bit higher, but still in a really good position appetite wise, etc. today, as you can see. So yeah, that is where we are at. But I will leave it there. Exciting few weeks ahead. Obviously continuing driving this off season forward, continuing to chase the gains. But obviously with client shows coming up, first client show is this weekend. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, I'll bring you through that. I'll bring you through the next few weeks as well. But stay tuned and you will see all that coming through. But as usual, guys, I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you very much for watching, for tuning in. And again, if you do watch and enjoy, please do share. It would mean a lot. It really helps things move along in terms of the channel as well. So yeah, I'm out. See you in the next one.